Hello viewers, welcome to another brand new video of our English classroom. Here I am Pramod and I would like to welcome all of you to my channel. And in this channel you will get several videos on grammatical topic along with some presentation skill developing videos and also some vocabulary related videos. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates. Well, I have started a series on voice change, one of the most important topic of English grammar, and in this video, I'm going to discuss how we can change an interrogative sentence that starts with who or whom, and we will turn this type of questions into a passive interrogative sentence. Okay, so let's get started. Well, at the beginning of the video, let's discuss about the difference between who and whom. Well, who and whom, both of them are WH words. We use these two words to make questions, but there is a little difference between these two words. Who is basically indicating the subject of a sentence. Usually who is the subjective form of the pronoun, okay, and whom, this is the object form of the pronoun. So who, whom, these two words, they are actually pronouns, and like the personal pronouns, these two pronouns also have two different forms, and that is who is the subject form, whom is the object form. And we all know it very clearly that we use the form, subject form, when we are using a subject of the sentence, and we use an object form of the pronoun to indicate the object of the verb. Okay, so this is the basic difference between who and whom. But according to modern grammar, the use of whom is not seen as like as before. As a result, many people like to use who for both the situation, who as the objective form, who as the subjective form. So you can also think like that. But if you want to learn grammar appropriately, so this video is for you. Okay, so let's get started. Rule number one, here we are going to discuss about the rule of who. Okay, who is the subject form? So if you start a question with this WH word who, it is the subject of your question. Well, what happens in an interrogative sentence or WH interrogative sentence? We use a WH word, and that is followed by an auxiliary verb, and after the auxiliary verb we write the subject. But if you are making the question with this WH word who, you do not need to use any other subject after the auxiliary verb. So keep that in your mind all the time. Who itself is the subject. Okay, so who is the subject, and then as the verb. Okay, so and after that it's your object. Just simple sentence structure, but the difference is here the subject is a WH word who. Alright, so now take a look at the passive pattern of the question. Here you need to replace the word who with the pronoun whom. Why? This is the big question. Why I should replace my WH word who with my WH word whom? Because remember one thing, that now you are writing who as the subject, but in the passive sentence you are writing whom not as the subject, rather the object that is the new subject of your passive form. Okay, so that is the thing. So here the who, it was the subject, and here by whom, this is the actual object of the passive sentence. So it will start with by whom and then followed by a be verb. Remember this thing very carefully. Whatever tense you are using, you need to use the appropriate be verb. And according to rule of the tenses, be verb takes the different forms. So I have already discussed about these topics in my previous videos. So if you have missed it, so go back to my channel and there is the playlist regarding voice change. Just watch it and it will be very easy for you. Okay, and here this object, this is not actually object, but this will be the subject of your passive question. Remember this thing. Why it is the subject? Well, if who it was the subject and it became the object, then be verb, here be verb is working like the auxiliary verb of the WH question making pattern, and after that you need a subject for your verb. So this subject is actually helping this verb to make the meaning. Okay, so now let's take a look at the examples. Well, the first sentence is who broke the glass. Very simple thing. Who broke the glass? Broke, this verb indicates past infinite tense. So according to my tense, I need to use my be verbs. Well, we all know that in past indefinite tense we use be verbs like was, were to make a passive verb. So here take a look. The word who, it has been changed into by whom. Then the auxiliary verb we have used was because my object is the glass. So now this object, the glass, has been the subject of my passive sentence and verb will agree with the subject. So glass is singular and that is the why we are using was, not were. So it depends on the object of your active sentence. If your object in the active sentence belongs to any plural noun, then you need to use a plural verb. If your object of the active sentence belongs to any singular noun, you need to use a singular verb. Okay? And finally, take a look. The verb broke, it has been transformed into V3 form, broken. So this is the simplest idea. Well, just review it once again. Who broke the glass? And the passive form is by whom was the glass broken. Now be careful with one thing. Most often the students write like this, by whom the glass was broken. But stop over here. This is not going to happen because it's not a correct pattern. Why not? Well, in a WH question, the correct pattern is WH word comes at the very first position, then comes an auxiliary verb, and then comes subject of the sentence. So if you write this auxiliary verb not after the WH word, rather you are writing this auxiliary verb after the subject, then the rule has been violated, and as a result the incorrect form makes an incorrect sentence. Very simple thing. Clear? So this is all about how you can change an active sentence that starts with who into a passive, and here the big major changes are: number one, who has been transformed into by whom, then here comes an auxiliary verb depending on the tense, and this auxiliary verb will follow the object of the active sentence, and then the verb will take its V3 form. Again, example 2, who has sent this email? Here has sent indicating present perfect tense. Well, so again, who has been transformed into by whom. Now has sent, as this verb belongs to present perfect tense, you already got an auxiliary verb, and this auxiliary verb is has. So what will happen now? Well, I will not change the auxiliary verb pattern because whenever we are dealing with the present perfect tense, we have two basic auxiliary verbs those are has and have. So according to my object of the passive sentence, I would decide which auxiliary verb would agree with that. So that this email belongs to singular noun. So that is the reason we are using has. It's not just that I have just copied this auxiliary verb has from here to here. No, it hasn't happened like that. Rather, it will depend on the object person number pattern. Well, if it was a plural noun, suppose these emails or those emails, then definitely I need to change this auxiliary verb and it would be have, not has. Okay, so this will depend upon the number of the object. And then look at the to be verb pattern been. We all know that in perfect tenses we cannot use am, is, or was as type of to be verbs. Rather, we use a different sort of to be verb, that is been. Okay, actually been is the past participle pattern of to be verb am, is, or was were. And finally, this said it's not the past form, it's V3 form. So according to my structure, let's take a look once again. Who is has become by whom, has this email, this is the object, and now this is the subject of my question, has this email. Been is the to be verb, and then sent is the main verb. Now rule number 2, it depends on, so rule number 2 deals with the WH question whom. So again take a look. So active sentence starts with whom, then auxiliary verb, then subject, then main verb. Remember, whom is not the subject, whom is the object form. So you must need a subject to establish your active sentence. Okay. Now the passive pattern is whom has been transformed into who, and after that we need the be verb that deals with our tense, and finally the V3 pattern of the main verb, and then preposition, and then our subject, which was in the active sentence, it will take the object form. Okay, over here. Now take a look. Whom does she like? The passive answer is who is liked by her. Now the question is, why I haven't used this auxiliary verb does? Well, a very simple question, a very simple answer. Who, so it came from the word whom. Whom has been transformed into who. So does like, think about this, does plus like. So this is present indefinite or simple present tense. Well, in simple present tense, we cannot use do does in our passive form. In that place, we use auxiliary verbs like am, is, are. So that is the reason the verb is came in place of the auxiliary verb does, and like the verb has been changed into V3 form, and she it has been become object by her. Okay. Whom does she like? Who is liked by her. Number 4. Whom did he teach? Again, who was taught by him. So who has been changed into who. Did belongs to past indefinite tense. So my auxiliary verb is was, and my main verb is teach. And finally, the verb has been changed into V3 form taught. And again, subject he has been transformed into object him with its preposition. So that is the way how you can change a question that starts with who, whom into passive form. So hope this video will help you a lot. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye and have a nice day.